Hey, this is Damon Rich, and this is another episode of Marriage Refresh TV. But this is a special episode. I'm getting ready to bring my fellas on the screen here where we are going to be talking husband talk, no chaser. I have all my brothers in the building. I got some other ones getting ready to join, just trying to get them on right now. Um, Listen, man, this is. I've actually had some women hit me up like, "Hey,
My
I'm
friend.
I'm ready. I'm
Anyway,
ready for this. I'm ready for this. This episode. They like really ready for the episode, and so I told them they can tune in. They actually say they have their notepads ready, and such. And so I hope they are really ready to hear what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be talking about on tonight. And I want to just take a quick minute to make sure that we have everybody. Just kind of orientate everybody to the group of the brothers and men that are on this call. And I tell you, we got a lot to unpack in an hour. And so I'm not going to play around too much. I'm going to just go. If you could give us a quick 30 seconds who you are, and I'll start up here with my brother Casey. If you just give the ladies a little bit about you, and we're going to keep it moving.
I'm Casey Godwin. Been married to my wife, beautiful wife, Chandra Godwin, for 13 years. I have two sons, and looking forward to talking to these brothers and hashing some things out.
Right. Looking forward to it. What's that? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Cool. My wife is telling me something, so I need to make sure I'm doing something. All right. Yeah. So, see, hey, the life of being a husband, life of being a husband, man. She like, hey, honey, I know you're on the episode, but I need you to fix something. So, and I need
Always
to
the
fix that right
dream.
there. All right. I'm gonna bounce over to my brother Nick. Nick, if you tell the audience a little bit about you and
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nick. I was married. I was married for a little more than 15 years. Was with the same woman for a little more than 20 years, but I am now divorced and been divorced now for a little more than 10 years. Me and my ex-wife have three grown sons together, and I'm on this show tonight, trying to share some of my experiences and just bouncing, get some ideas bouncing off of each other. And I'm glad to be on the show tonight.
all right. I'm gonna bounce down to my brother Jody. How you doing there, bro? Tell him a little something about you.
Oh man, I'm doing great. So my name's Jody Cedric, and I've been married 31 years. Been with my wife almost 33. She is the love of my life. We have six children, four that we had together, and then we adopted two. So
Outstanding. I'm gonna keep going on around to my brother Travis Scott. How you doing, bro? Tell
All
him
right,
something
all
about
right.
yourself.
How you doing today? How's everybody going? Hey, my name is Travis Scott. Um, been married for now 9 months. Been with my wife for almost 7 years. We met in college at Florida A&M University. We have two beautiful children together, 8-year-old daughter and a 3-year-old boy. So I'm definitely thankful, and excited, to get the perspective and share my perspective, and to learn a lot from all this experience in this room. Really excited.
All right. And we got our last brother on deck. I know Brother Hassan, he said he was stuck at work. He may be joining us when he can slide in. But we got our brother, Mr. Jimmy Jefferson, man. He wasn't in our pre-production. So tell the audience a little bit about you, sir. You on a recent episode, but tell them about it from a marriage perspective, sir.
All right. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jimmy Jefferson. I'm married. I've been married to my wife now for 18 years. We've been together 20 years. We have 5 children together. It's I mean, it's my second time around. You know, I was married one time before to my first wife. We got married right out of high school. So, you know, I've seen a little bit of both of every side, you know, and here to take a little, you know, nugget from everybody here. I mean, we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm your host. You should know enough about me. I've been married for 21 years. Damon Rich, to my beautiful wife Tamika Rich, and we have three lovely children together. And we continuing to try and just build. And I'll start on that point because everyone has talked about the number of years they were married. In the case of Brother Nick, and for the rest of the brothers, you are married. Um, and I'll see who want to jump in on this first, is, a lot of times we get caught counting the years, the number, but it's about I found out somewhere in there that it's not about the number, but it ends up being about the quality of the years. What would you say is like most important to you on this marriage journey? Like, if you could drop a nugget of what have you, is it the years you really cherish, or is it really something else? Who want to jump on that first?
I mean,
I'll jump. Oh,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. Well, yeah, I was gonna give something interesting that that I found with me being with my wife for I was at the time felt like forever, but it was a very interesting perspective when I proposed to be her husband. My change and my outlook on her and our relationship really changed, because at that point is when I started to view her as my wife versus my girlfriend. And that was a very interesting dynamic. When we changed that perspective, I started to look at her a little bit differently. The things that didn't really aggravate me before started to aggravate me, and that was really a rough part in our entire being together. And it was right after I proposed to her, so I thought that was very interesting. And that's definitely something that I wanted to unpack and share my experiences with, especially with new couples when it comes to that. When you're getting in that relationship and you're looking towards marriage, man, you got to start looking at her as your wife now, because that was a tough time for me for a couple of months. So that's just a little nugget that I have when it comes to that.
All right, Jimmy, you was gonna pop something in there. What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, first of all, but before I get murdered tonight, I'm married to my lovely wife Nicole Jefferson. Let me fix that right now.
You got a text or a phone call, bro?
No, let me fix that right now.
What you talking about me?
But yeah, I think it's more or less, it's not how you start, it's how you kind of hold a line and how you finish. Because a lot of us, when we get married, man, we ain't we're not really ready. And I kind of brought everything from my first marriage, everything I was doing wrong in that marriage, I brought to the second marriage. And it took me years and years later, of maturing and all that kind of good stuff, that to kind of finally get what marriage was really all about. And it wasn't about just running down to the courthouse and or walking down the aisle and and saying I do, and then one person putting everything in and the other person just glad they got a ring on the finger or whatever. So as I said before, I've been down both sides of the aisle where you're married and you really don't care, and then you married and then you trying to put forth the effort. Because like I said, it really don't matter how you start, because everybody doesn't start with that fairy tale, like you see in the movie, like Lifetime. The roses is always around. It's not always like that. You got two different people with two different ways of thinking and two different everythings, and you got to learn how to make that work. And it take years to get where I'm at now. When I look back and just say, hey man, some of the silly, stupid stuff that I did is just, you can kind of laugh about it right now,
Let me ask you, Jimmy, when did you get that? When did you understand that, that you were bringing some of that baggage from the previous marriage to your current marriage? What was that? How did you figure that out?
Oh, I've been figured it out. It's just I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to accept it. That's what I was doing, and that's what was going on.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
you kind of don't really you kind of really don't bring it all together into something, something unfortunate. Like we used to have old saying, when you have heated moments of fellowship,
Yeah.
when that come about, that's when you kind of, you kind of kick you in the gut and say, it's, you got to kind of let some of that old stuff go, and some of them old people, and, you go to clean it out house. And, and like I was telling my daughter the other day, when you on this path that we call life, you're going to have a handful of people. You think about all the people you done came across in your time. You're only going to really have maybe 5 people or less in your hand that you really gonna call a really, really good friend. All the other people are just along for the ride, and they don't care whether you go up or down. If you're up, it's good, but when you get down, that's when you know what kind of friends you got.
Yeah,
Right,
that's right.
right.
I like
Go ahead. Yeah, Casey, I'll come to you. Go ahead, bro.
I would like to add that the one thing that I've learned is not to count the years. The best thing about it is the actual relationship and the bond. I've been knowing my wife since we were 12 years old. Met in church. Yeah, we met in church. Now we weren't dating or girlfriend, boyfriend. We were friends, so it was a lot of things that we knew about each other going into the time when we started to date. But what I'm learning is that, take advantage of the actual time that you all spend together, little silly moments, the things that made you fall in love with each other. You have to kind of stick with that so that you're not what I'm looking for. You're not really looking at, oh well, this year 15, this year 16. Just be thankful for the actual relationship, the actual time that you have together, the moments that you can spend. Like I said, silly moments. You laughing at her because y'all doing something silly, just sitting up. So that part I found out to be more important than sitting back counting the years. Like, oh, this the worst thing that ever happened.
Right, right. It's like you're doing when you count the years. There is a point like in the beginning. It's like, oh, year 1, year 2, year 3, and I'm definitely interested to hear the vet and Nick's perspective on this, because you feel like you're counting the years, and then the first, like, you're happy, year 1, year 2, oh, we're together, wow, it's good. Then it become like you use the right word. It become like a sentence. Man, how long you been married? Man, I've been in about 15 years. Like, I've been here about 15 years. Like, man, hold on. Who sentenced you? Yeah. Like, I got life, bro. I got life.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? And it's true. I do got life, but come on, man. Learn how to, the old guys that have been to prison. Some dudes I know have been in prison, get out. They say, man, listen, getting through prison is the nonsense that make it hard. They say, but if you just get in there and lock in and focus on doing your time, you're gonna get out fine. I'm like, man, but this life, what you mean? There's no light at the end of the tunnel, but if it is, it's a train. Jody, what would you say, man? These 31
I,
years.
you know what? I would say this, a couple things. Number one, the years go really fast. You're gonna blink and it's gonna be 10. You're gonna blink, it's gonna be 20. And I think the thing that I would stress is that, I mean, in 33 years, I mean, in the perspective of eternity, we're newlyweds. So let's roll, right? So we make it a point that every week we have a date night. Kids know that mom and dad, every week, one night a week, we're going out. And I think a lot of times when you start counting the years as a sentence, it's because you stop courting each other. You stop chasing her. You've stopped trying to earn her love, because love can either continue to grow and become beautiful, or it can wither and start to decay based on how you nurture and you care for it.
Right, right. That's real. And I want to come back to that date night that part in a minute. Nick, what you got to add to this? Because you bring a different perspective because you've gone through marriage. You got out without parole. So what would you say, man?
Brother, you know me, me and you have talked for years, and we talked about this actually one time because I was cherishing the years, and so I'm a piggyback off of Brother Jimmy and my brother Casey there. I cherish the years because it's not just the years, but it was our victories and our defeats.
Hmm.
Me and my ex-wife, we had a lot of victories in all of those years. We had a lot of victories, but we had some defeats too. But we went through them together as a husband and as a wife. And so the victories and defeats that we went through, we're not going to go through them. We didn't go through them in just one year. It took all of those years to go through all of that stuff that we went through. And just like my brother Jimmy said, I realized uh, that in my marriage, since I've only been married once, in my marriage, I made some mistakes. I did. And I know through counseling and through God that there were things I could have did different. So I'm trying my best right now to make myself a better man, to prepare myself to be a better husband for when and if I ever get married again. Because the next marriage I get to, when we go through all the years, I want to have more victories than defeats.
Oh man, that's powerful. That is powerful. Having more victories than defeats. That is, and that's something I told my wife. I was like, people may ask, well, when do I give up on my marriage or something like that, right? Um, and I think the thing that needs to happen is that or one of the things I used to say is when we start having more bad days than good, that's when we need to start evaluating things. Not that I want to get a divorce, but when you start having more bad days than good, you really need to look at some things. And so that's powerful. I want to ask a question, and I definitely am going to circle back to date night, but I want to ask a question that's going to be maybe a little bit heavy. And we talked about it a little bit in the pre-show the other day. Is when we what is one of those things that is a vice that maybe you struggled with that hindered your marriage? I know one of those things is, have you struggled with pornography, as a husband, and what impact did that have on your marriage? Or was it something else that you struggled with? What has been a vice that you would say maybe did the most damage? Hold on, I forgot to do my doggone disclaimer before I get into heavy stuff. Okay, we've been talking light right now.
Yeah, you get a heavy
This is a disclaimer from Damon Rich and Marriage Refresh TV. We are not responsible. Though we want you to be transparent, we are not responsible for your transparency landing you with a black eye in another room, on a couch, in the car, or with no loving for a week or two. We are not responsible for that. But we do encourage your transparency, but you got to live with your own consequences. Now, back
Mhm.
to your regularly scheduled program. All right. So, what are some of the devices, if you feel free and comfortable and safe sharing, that you've dealt with or struggled with that have really put that dent in your marriage that you had to work to overcome?
Brother, you want me to go first?
Fire, fire on.
Let's
See,
roll.
hey, this man say he ain't got no fear. Hey, you divorced? Yeah, fire away, bro.
Yeah. Brother, yeah, with me and my marriage, one of our biggest vices was sex.
Mm.
I wanted sex more than she did, or more than she acted like she wanted it, and that became a problem.
Whew.
And I think, and like I said, this is one of those victory and defeat things. I The way I chose to deal with it was probably not the best way, but there was sometimes that I wanted it and she didn't, and at first it was an argument. It led to a big argument because I wanted it and she didn't, and I would keep trying. I would keep pushing, and it turned into an argument. So I got to where I just stopped thinking about it. I put it out of my mind, and so then it got to where we were going without sex 2, 3, and 4 weeks at a time. And so that caused the problem because now she's starving for sex. But now she wouldn't initiate it. She wouldn't act like she wanted it. So now, but she was starving for sex. So that was a problem. Sex was a problem, and it caused problems.
Okay. See, you can be transparent. Who else want to jump off in the water? Anybody? I'll jump next if you want me to, but I'm the
Nobody,
host.
Please do.
nobody
Please
want to
do.
jump on that one.
I'm processing. I'm gotta tread lightly.
Hold on. Casey say he going to jump off in this water.
Go ahead, Casey.
Hey, and piggybacking off of Brother Nick, I do think that sex is a very, very strong issue and could cause a lot of problems. And I think a lot of time husbands, our drives are, more than the females. And I don't know if they're intentionally doing it, but we're wanting it and they're not wanting it. And I'm learning how to try to deal with that as well. Sometimes if you're into your wife or you want to be with your wife and they're not wanting that back, it kind of makes you feel some type of way about yourself. Are you are you no longer attracted to me?
Yeah.
What's the problem there? And so we're not going in so much detail because I'm not having a fight with my wife.
Exactly.
But you just and I have to learn how to understand in itself that it's not that they're not attracted to you. It's not that they don't want to. It's sometimes we just don't understand what other people are going through.
Right.
We have ourselves in the front so much to where all I see is I'm not getting it. And that's all you want to see or that's all you want to hear. So we as males have to learn how to understand the other species that we deal with and know that, sometimes it's not always about us.
Right.
But I like that you said it's not always about us because I think a lot of times, women are honestly looking for intimacy as well as sex, right? And we as men often forget that. When we were first dating, man, we were going out of our way to make them feel special, to make them feel loved, and they want to feel that way. Yeah. And I remember, years ago, I was counseling this young man. They were really struggling with in their marriage, and I came home. He asked me to meet them so I can talk to them. And I came over and I knocked on the door, and he shouted at me, "Hey, Jody, come in!" And I opened the door, and he's sitting on the couch. He's playing Nintendo. There's a baby crying at his feet with a stinky diaper. I could smell it at the door. And then there's a baby crying in a high chair, and his wife's around the corner cooking dinner. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm playing Nintendo." I'm like, "Can't you see your baby needs a diaper change and your wife's over there struggling to have get dinner and baby crying? You're just sitting here." He goes, "Well, I'm tired." I go, "You don't think she's tired? And you're complaining about an intimacy problem?"
Yeah.
I go, "Right now, brother, if you would have come home, picked up that baby, took care of things, and then took care of her, how much more likely do you think she would have been in the mood at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock? Sure. But right now, you've set it up for no."
That's big. That's big. And
we don't do that.
Yeah, that's big. And I'll share something, with that. And which I'm still struggling with personally is understanding her love language and how she receives that intimacy and, how she's going to receive that. Because where I would think, okay, if I clean up the whole house or I do these certain things, she may be in the mood, but she may want something else. She may want to talk about her day, and that feeling is going to get her, but I'm thinking something else. So that's something that I'm currently working through, is just understanding her love language and what I may deem as important or what I may think may get her in the mood. It may not be that. I need to understand what she wants and what she's yearning for and provide that. And that's hard. That's difficult. And I'm dealing with that, today. That's definitely something that is a struggle for me, because I mean, that's a lot of pride and humility, that you have to work through in order to say.
Well, and I think kind of along those lines, I think one of the challenges women don't understand, and I'm bringing this up because Damon said there's going to be a lot of wives watching this, is that when a man loves you, he loves every aspect of the room. You can walk in the room fully clothed and walk by and be very interested in being with you at that moment, because
100%.
it is part of his love language, right? And so recognizing that it's not that we're trying to be a pig or fulfill all our selfish desires. We naturally are driven and attracted to your every aspect of your beauty, your character, your personality, your physicality. Every bit of it draws us into you. And when you recognize that, when we come and hug you up from behind, embrace that. I mean, and just feel that love, because it is driven from a place of love.
That's good.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's-
Jimmy, you want to jump in now?
Yeah, I was finna say that was powerful what he said, but I mean, I'm kind of quite the opposite, with me and my wife. That's never been an issue about sex or the intimacy. I mean, if anything, it was me, with the level I'm looking for. You know what I mean? But as far as us being on the same level with that I think we're since day one, that's been there. But like I said, my Achilles heel, was running them streets, and that's. I mean, I'm still, God's still working on me. Right. I mean, I'm a lot further. I'm better today than what I was yesterday, because I can't count yesterday. All that I can do is worry about today, and I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. But I mean, once I kind of turned the streets loose, and started, basically turn the streets loose. Because I used to like to run heavy, hard. It didn't matter. I had a couple little posses I went with, and that's always been my issue, man. Even in my first marriage.
What do you think that stronghold is? Why is it still holding you?
Well, I mean, like I said, I've since my daughter graduated, and because I kind of thought that was kind of holding us together, because the baby was still home, and I knew it was still me, still had part of the old stuff I used to do, especially with the streets and stuff like that. I don't know whether it's a ego thing, or you don't want to tell somebody, your friends, hey man, look, I gotta go home, or hey, look, hey man, look, I gotta go home. That's kind of hard to say, I gotta go home or whatever. So, you just lost some stripes or something. I don't know. So you gotta do everything you can, knowing you're supposed to be. You're watching the clock, knowing you're supposed to be going home, knowing it, racing home. I done did all that. Tickets. I got into trouble with the law because I was trying to get home. It's like I said, I guess it's just age, come with maturing. But like I said, he ain't through with me yet, but I'm glad I'm a lot better where I am today than where I used to be, because I had everything you can name or done, I probably did it 5 times over. So I mean, it's been and it's been more surrendering to myself, and some of the stuff you hear them, asking and begging and asking and asking and begging, it finally, it'll finally hit you and say, well, let me at least try it this way, or let me, try to come to, you gotta come to an even kind of ground, because again, it's always gonna be a struggle. Some of them people that do it all them years, God bless them. But I mean, it gets better and better, and it's proven now that for us, we finally hit that plateau to where we like, okay, we living our best life. It's really just us, and we can plan for two, and we were doing, I was having a hard time with the date night thing because I don't know if it's because of the stripes and, the sergeant styles and, I don't know. But we finally started breaking down and started trying to do date night, and then the plague hit, or whatever you want to call it, pandemic, plague, so that kind of put a damper on things. But I still find myself trying to do some things like, around here, like pop a little popcorn and, maybe watch some movies, and, I kind of get a little remote up a little bit more. I used to dominate the remote, but I get a remote up a little bit.
I think this is good, man. Like, cause for me, and one of the things, like I said, we talked about pre-show or what have you, was I think I was in that place because I've always just had this my own opinion. And I think women don't know that men sometimes have body image issues as well, or how we perceive, especially once you start feeling like you're losing your strength or different things like that. Is that you want to be pursued. So, sometimes I'm just be real. Sometimes it can feel like with your wife with sex, even though you might be getting it, it's kind of like here. I may as well here it is. Here it, come on and get it so we can be done and I can go on to sleep. Whatever. It's like a chore, right? So it's like, yeah, doggone it, I want to be wanted too. I want to be wanted too. I got an extra bedroom, but I don't think I'm gonna have to use it. So I want to be wanted too. You know what I'm saying? So, you go through that feeling, and it's like I want to be pursued too, but then it's like, I don't want that. I take it, but
Damon, do we need to express that? Do we need to be in a position to talk about that, like with our wives?
We should be able to. If you bold, absolutely, go ahead. But we should be able to talk about it on the real, because you don't want to feel like I always put it like this. All right, kids done, dinner done, dishes done, husband done. Okay, whatever. I don't want to be on the chore list. Now, it goes back to something Jody said. There's things I can do to help be off the chore list. But even when I do those things, putting on a lingerie is nice, but come across the room and take it. That's all I'm saying. Come across the room and take it. And make me tell you no a couple of times until I give in. Something. I'm being real, man.
You aren't gonna say no.
I'm gonna say no a couple of times just because I want to see if you want it. You know what I'm saying? Take me.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm gonna reel it back in. But I think that too, that opens the door. So I can say that pornography has never been a vice for me, but I would not lie to you and say that throughout 21 years of marriage, and it hadn't been anything I've dealt with in a long time, but at 21 years of marriage that I hadn't looked at something I ain't got no business looking at, and trying to even though that video is a lie, but that video or that image more so, because that video stuff, whatever, but that image, like, oh man, that's an attractive lady or whatever, but she don't want you neither, because she only reason she wants you is if you can give her some payment, for the views and the clicks, she get paid. And so you go through this and you play this psychological game with yourself, and for some that spills out. I'm a firm believer in this: if you window shop long enough, you're gonna buy something. So you're gonna eventually be looking there, and if you're not getting that pursuit, it's definitely. I'm not a person of trying to do like that tit for tat or make people have revenge. Where it's a woman out there looking or whatever. It is a woman always ready to feed a man, and so but I don't try and look at it like that. But there is a woman out there willing to do what your wife may not be willing to do, and that is a heavy temptation that I think men face every day. Husbands.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely, I agree. I think with that part, that's where trust issues come in. They'll develop You have to you have to find your way through that. Because you can walk out your house right now and there be 10 women lined up just because you married. It ain't even that they want you; it's just because you married, and now you're the forbidden fruit. And so, you have to you have to have your protection on and go out there knowing that, hey, I have something beautiful at home. I have something, somebody who loves me, somebody who cares, regardless of the fact that you all may be at odds. You're not having sex as much as you want to. You're not you're not feeling wanted. The intimacy's not there. Despite that, you have to know through that she still loves you. You know what? When my heart is aching, that woman is there. When I need a shoulder to cry on, that woman is there, and that's something else men need to deal with too. It's okay to cry and still be a man's man. You just have to you just have to know that this woman that I married, regardless of whether everything is perfect, she is still perfect for me because I chose to marry her.
Right. Yeah. That's good stuff right there, man. That's good stuff there. And I have to quote that right there is no, though she may not be perfect, she is perfect for me. And I chose to marry her. I think that's powerful. I think that's
But
powerful.
and I'll ask you this as a piggyback question in you case, like where is that balance? Because that is something that I am facing, being a relatively new husband, is how do you find that balance of being the man of the household, the husband, but still being able to share your emotions and say how you feel without being too vulnerable, but still feeling like a man like that. That's difficult for me, man. Sometimes, like, how do you work through that and still feel like a man?
But what I've learned, it is tough. It is very tough. But um, if you can't be transparent with your wife, and you have an issue because with your wife, that's supposed to be your other person. That's supposed to be the one that is gonna see you through everything. You lose a relative, you lose your job, you just everything seems like it's going down. And that's the person that's gonna be right there to hold your head up, to keep telling you, hey, you're a strong man, you're able to do it. Hey, this happened, but we're gonna get through it. And just to speak on my wife is her faith. I don't think you can do anything to shake my wife's faith. And no matter how hard I tried, she was still right there praying. She was still right there lifting me up. I've been through some things, but she was right there, still lifting me up. So you have to know that she respects you in your place, but it's okay for you to show her that you're vulnerable, show her that you have emotions, show her that you have a sensitive side. That's okay to do, and you can still be a man's man, because if you're not in touch with your sensitive side, then a lot of times you're gonna find yourself not knowing what your wife wants or what your wife needs because you're not open up to a sensitivity.
On that level, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Can I
appreciate that.
can I piggyback off of that a little bit, brother?
Go ahead.
I also went through that with my ex-wife back when I was younger in my 20s and 30s. Man, my pride, I had a pride streak down my back, a mile wide. My pride would not let me open up to my ex-wife like that. My pride would not let me be vulnerable. My pride would not let me be sensitive. My pride would not let me cry because I thought it made me less of a man to be vulnerable and sensitive and all that. Back then, I called it mushy stuff. So it was my pride. I had a problem with my pride. My pride wouldn't let me do that. But now I'm 50 years old. I'm 50. I've learned to control. I still struggle with my pride. Don't get me wrong, but not nearly as bad as I did way back then. So even in the relationship that I'm in now, even though we're not married, I have learned to control my pride, not let my pride control me.
Mm.
And I'm sensitive. I'll be sensitive. I'm open, transparent, vulnerable. I let this woman know exactly what I'm feeling and exactly where I'm at. So there's no misunderstanding.
Yeah.
So there's no
Right.
misunderstanding of,
Yeah.
well, I didn't know this. Yeah, I told you. I let you
Yeah.
know this is where I was. This is what I want. This is what I expect. This is how I'm feeling.
Mm.
But back then, it was my pride. So I, I don't know if that's your issue, brother, but maybe it's something that you can check inside of you.
What is that though? Is that a maturity thing? Is it a decision that you just got to make? I mean, what is that? How do you make that transition? Because it sounds good, but I mean, it's like there's I can feel it sometimes. Where I may want to say something. I may want to say, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. I can feel it right here and right here, but I just can't see it. And it blows my mind sometimes. I'm like, is there something wrong with me? But I just feel vulnerable when I'm getting ready to say it, and I struggle with it.
I want to, because I want to come to you, Jody, because have you wrestled with and conquered that beast of pride in 33 years?
Oh, I think every man struggles with that beast of pride. But and kind of to Travis's question, you got to remember your wife wants a strong, sensitive man that's willing to stand and walk with her, but also willing to say, man, you're the most beautiful woman in the world, and I'm thankful that you're mine. She wants that kind of man. She doesn't want a wimp. And I think that's what you're really saying is like, how do I be sensitive and strong and not become a wimp? And you know what? If you're just speaking from the heart,
Right.
then it comes from a place of authenticity, and she will feel that, and you will feel comfortable the more you share that, because she will trust you with her heart more, and that will actually even make those feelings even more, and you will find that it'll be more difficult to not express those over time. But yeah, I mean, it's, I guess probably the area that becomes the most challenging as far as pride goes is, just parenting kids, because I was raised in a home where you do not respect your mama. I mean, my dad would knock you through the roof, right? And when I get disrespected as a father, that pride comes in. Wait, I'm the dad. What are you talking about? Right. And I've had to learn because of my wife, coaching me, going, you know what? You need to step back. You need to not be so prideful. And you need to listen, because there's an underlying problem that they're trying to ask, but they don't really know how to ask it. So you need to work with them in a way that allows them to explore those struggles. And when you humble yourself and listen, then you can become a dad that they're willing to come to and talk to.
Yeah.
That's good right there.
I think that it's a powerful thing that when it comes down to pride, I will say, I just be straight up, my most difficult thing to do is be vulnerable with my wife. And you can go through all of the reasons why or whatever, but that's where I struggled. And I've struggled with that from day one, because um at the end of the day, and I would ask this question, I'm going to ask this question. I don't know if you should answer it on air, but it's completely up to you. I got a feeling everybody will give the politically correct answer, so that's good. But it's having that safe place to rest your heart. Because here's the thing with men, and this is for wives that are out there to understand. Once your husband has shown vulnerability and it is ever used against him, he will be less likely, if ever, to be vulnerable with you again. Period. Doesn't matter how you did it. So the question that I asked, that for you to consider, if you want to answer it, you can. Do you feel 100% that your wife is that safe place for you? Because I think that's what helps increase your willingness to be vulnerable, and your willingness to be vulnerable, and your deals with helps kill the pride. And I will say this, as you think about the question, and if you choose to run out there, you can, is if you are unable to be vulnerable with her, that's already your answer. So, anybody want to tackle that?
My my answer is no. Reason being, I find myself there are some things I can be vulnerable with her about, but then there are some things that, hey, we're both going through it, so something's not gonna resonate. So I can't go through the same thing that you're going through. So you know what? I guess right now I just can't talk to you about this because you're going through it. You feel a certain way. I'm going through it. I feel a certain way. So we're not gonna come to common ground zone. So I would say no. I can't be completely vulnerable about everything.
Gotcha.
I would also say no, because I was talking to this young lady one time, and once again, I was trying to be open and honest and vulnerable with this young lady and sharing, letting her know stuff about me. And the information that I was giving her, she, out of anger, out of a fit of anger, she turned around and used it against me. Yeah. And I was like, you don't do that. I was like, and I told her, I said, I'll never share anything ever with you again. So it is important for men or women to know that, when we come to you, out of in our place of vulnerability and weakness, that's a real sensitive time for us. And if you use that information against us or for your own gain or whatever the case may be, no, I wouldn't share with you no more ever. No,
so it's almost like
because
one has to protect it.
Now you have shown me that I can't trust you, and I won't trust you.
Right.
Because when I opened my heart to you and was sensitive and vulnerable with you, you took that information and you used it against me, and I will not do that again.
So I'll ask this question. Go ahead, Jody. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask. What were you gonna ask, Travis?
What do women and wives need to protect that vulnerability? Like when a man does open up, and show a little bit, is there a level of responsibility for a woman to protect that, to let the man know that it is okay and keep doing it and encourage them in that? Is that safe to say?
I would 100% agree with that. And I think that goes both ways. I think as you open up to your wife, she needs to have the confidence that she can open up to you and that you will guard each other's hearts, that you will guard each other's feelings. And to Nick's point, if that ever gets, crossed and somebody breaks that trust, then it becomes really challenging to rebuild that trust. And it's like, I said 120, but that 120 has come over years, right? Of going, you know what, I'm going to trust my heart with you. I'm going to, and my wife trusts my heart. And you know what? It hasn't always been perfect. We've stumbled, but you know what? We've said we're sorry.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we as men struggle with the simple thing of saying, I'm sorry, I messed up, and I'm going to do better here. And let's walk this together and grow together.
Right. Hey, I got a question actually from the audience. Danielle Rhodes asked this question, and whoever wants to take it first. How do you know if your husband loves you? How do you know if your husband?
I wish my wife were here to answer that.
Yeah, man, that's good. I may need to go call my wife and bring her in and get some perspective.
And it sounds funny, but that's the answer. It depends on her perspective of love. What does she call love?
Sure.
Woo.
Yeah. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Well, I'll answer that. Just, you know what? If he's giving you 100
Hmm.
and he's putting you first and he's serving you and he's loving you and he's not perfect, because guess what? Men aren't perfect, and he's trying to serve you and take care of you and nurture the relationship, he loves you. Because he wouldn't be staying around if he didn't, because it's too easy in today's world to go outside and get the physical stuff. But I tell you, if he's emotionally invested in you and he's putting in the time, I put money down that he loves you.
And I like that, Jody, because that really is. I usually say it. Hey, if you have a man that's trying, I'm not talking about half behind trying, but really trying, putting in the effort, acknowledges his mistakes. It might not acknowledge it as quickly as you want him to, but he acknowledges it, comes back and tries to make right what he's done wrong. Then I think that says a lot about the character of him, because you hit the nail on the head, Jody, in that there are, I can go to Isaiah 4:1, and the ratio is probably greater, because it says, and in that day, 7 women will lay hold on 1 man. The ratio is probably greater than that, in that the number of women out there willing to pursue or take your man or serve your man, even though he's not there. And again, I don't say that in a way of, well, girl, you better be on top of your game because all these women, but knowing that if he's turning all that down, then the running joke is $40 in a cell phone bill. If he's turning down, hey, he got a whole mortgage, he got to pay, but he's turning down where he can get treated like a king and treated and respected in a certain way for $40 in the cell phone bill, and he's rather choosing to do life with you, that is saying something. Now, it has to be a strong effort, but that is saying something. Go ahead, Jody.
Well, and I like what you said, $40 in a cell phone. It's like he's not willing to settle for a moment if he's walking life with you.
That's pretty good.
Boom.
That man killing it tonight. He Dr. Feeling it, man.
That's why you got 31 years.
And like
That's
Dr.
it.
Feeling it
At
tonight.
31 years. Goodness
That's hard
gracious.
not to go behind
I'm taking notes.
I gotta answer like 2 questions later, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, that's why we had to have a vet on here, man, because there's things even in 21 years I hadn't experienced. I can't experience it all. There's going to be things that I forgot that Travis is going to remind me of because he's young in it. There's going to be things that I need to prepare for because Jody's ahead. There's going to be things that I didn't even think of because Casey's got a different perspective. Jimmy's got a different perspective. Then Nick brings a whole nother thing, because this is a question I have for you, Nick. Is your girlfriend there? Are you on Bluetooth, or can she hear us?
No, she can hear, but she cool with it.
She cool. Do you want to be a husband again?
Brother, me and you have talked about this over and over again. Yes, I'm nobody's boyfriend. I'm built to be a husband. I am built to be a husband. I was a husband. Me and my ex-wife, we were married for more than 15 years, but we were actually together for more than 20. So, and all that 20 years, I was doing husband duty. I was paying rent. I was paying light bill. I was helping take care of kids. All of those are husband's duties. I was the provider. I was the protector. All the duties of a husband. So that's all I know how to do. And plus, that's the right thing to do under God, is to be a husband. So I'm built to be a husband. That's what I want to be. I'm not trying to be nobody's sugar daddy. I'm not trying to be nobody's, friends with benefits. I am built to be a husband. That's all I know how to do. I don't know how to be a boyfriend.
Wow.
Because some boyfriends don't take the money home. Some boyfriends, they go out and they spend their money on themselves, buying shoes or rims for their car. That's what, I guess, I've heard that's what boyfriends do. I don't do that because I know I got responsibilities. I got to pay the rent. I got to pay the phone bills. I got to make sure food's in the refrigerator. That's a husband's job. So
Well, I tell you the
I have
way.
been all of these years, I have been a husband.
Man,
So that's all I
the
know.
way you talking, bro. If you wasn't spoken for, I think you might be getting some DMs because I think a lot of women are looking for a responsible man. Guys, we're coming up on the time, and I definitely want to be respectful of your time and your time with your family. I want to close out with this, okay? Because of course, women want to know, when did you meet the one? You know, when did you know she was the one? I want to take this question from a different perspective, right? Because and this is irrelevant of your current wife, right? I got a feeling how we might answer this, but irrelevant of your current wife. What do you need in a wife? Because I think there's a lot of women on here that are single. There are a lot of women on here that are married that are trying to be better wives. What do you need in a wife? And I'm gonna close out with you as the vet, Jody, because the other fellas say you hard to go behind.
Yeah, I'm not going behind.
I don't know. No, I might not. I might not save it for that. It's a toss up between Jody and Nick. But what do you need in a wife? And I want you to erase your mind about your current wife, and I want you to give it to us succinct. What do you need in a wife? Because this is your opportunity to say something that maybe your wife didn't know, and she can't do anything about it if she don't know anything about it. But this might help a wife who's on the verge of giving up and saying, you know what, I have not given my husband that thing. I didn't think about it, that he needed it. So we're gonna work it this way. We're gonna start with the rookie. What do you need in a wife? Just give us one or two things. You don't have to
Man,
give us the whole list.
man, once that hit me, I think that it's so important. I took a note down of it, man. I think that's a big deal, man. Protecting his emotions. There's something that we don't talk about. It's something that maybe even men may not even be able to articulate. But if you can protect a man's emotions, especially young, immature men, I mean that's a big deal. So that was on my heart. So I think that would be my answer: protecting his emotions.
All
Yeah,
right, all right. So,
yeah.
hold on, Jimmy. How many years you been married? And
18.
Casey, so that make Casey you the next one. What's up? What do you need in a wife?
I think you need, well, I think I need, I'm sorry. I need someone who's very loving. I need someone who is similar to my mother. And what I mean by that is someone who's gonna love me unconditionally, someone who's gonna, take care of me in a sense of when I need something, she's there. When something's going wrong, she's there. Um, in that sense of someone similar to my mother, and you need someone who wants
Hmm.
you. I need someone who wants me as much as I want.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, all right, all right. I already know that this is gonna be backed by popular demand, but because it's the real Jimmy. What do you need in a wife?
Um, I would say what I would um determine as what I need in a wife is just basically someone that's gonna listen, be because women have that side where they can listen, but listen and let me lead. Don't take it as if I'm leading as being bossy or this or that. I'm just born. I'm born to be a leader and I'm a man. So let me lead. You know, lead, lead,
Hmm.
and listen.
Okay.
We'll get through it. But like I said, let a man lead, and I think listening is the biggest is the my biggest thing that I want listening in, because my wife she's perfect, she's phenomenal. I think we kind of fall off the rocker sometimes because the power struggle or whatever. She's coming into her own because she's doing a lot of fabulous things, but that doesn't make me less of a man because you're doing a little more than I am. Just being like the lead you should want to lead.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Good.
All right, brother Nick, what do you need in a wife?
I'm gonna say now in my older age, I'm gonna say, with all that I've been through, I need a woman that's gonna bring some consistency and stability.
Mm.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's what I need. If you're gonna, don't start something with me if you're not gonna continue to do it. I don't need that because that's confusing. Because I'll get used to it, and then you decide, oh, I don't want to do that no more. But now I like what you're doing, but now you decide you want to stop. No, I need you, whatever it is. If you're gonna do it, do it. If you're not, then don't start it. Be consistent with whatever it is. Stability. Be 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 stable. Just be stable. Don't be all over the place. Have in your mind what we're doing, what needs to be done, and just tough it out. Whatever we're going through, tough it out. I've been in a relationship, well, actually with my ex-wife, where when we started going through stuff, she'd be like pulling her hair out, what we're gonna do, and ready to run for the hills.
Right.
I need somebody that's gonna be right there because I already got in my mind what we're gonna do.
Right.
I know how we're gonna handle it, or how we need to try to handle it. But I need you right there and be stable with me and by my side. So I'm gonna say stability and consistency.
All right. I need the vet, the sage, to bring us home. What do you need in a wife, Jody?
So, what do I need in a wife? I need a woman that's gonna run with me, that's gonna challenge me, that's gonna push me, that's gonna inspire me to be the best man I can become, the best father I can become. I need a woman that will love me for my strengths, but also love and forgive my weaknesses.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
be willing to walk through those as we grow together. And I guess ultimately I would want a woman that would be willing to go the distance.
Mm.
I mean,
That's good.
because
That's good.
you know what? Life can be challenging. Life will throw you major curveballs. And I need a woman that's going to stay in the batter box with me, not rush them out.
Yeah.
So let's run together.
Man,
That's good.
dude, I gotta cut it off because we out of time.
Yeah.
It's my show. I can go as long as I want, but I want to respect your time with your family. That's important. I know we definitely are gonna have to have this panel again because you guys have absolutely been vulnerable, transparent, and clear. And I think that a lot of men and women will benefit from this, whether they watch tonight or they go back. For me, I think Jody, you hit on my clear things. I don't want to be the person, and I don't share what I need in that wife is somebody who is absolutely willing to hold my hand through the valleys. Um, and in the days I don't see it in myself, remind me of who I am, who the person you saw. I need that from you, and know above all things that I can lay my head in your lap and my weakness will not be used against me at some other point in the future. And knowing that gives me all the strength I need to conquer a multitude of things. So that is a thing. There's a question that came in. I wish we really had time to tackle it, Daniela. She says, "When should we say enough is enough?" I think that's definitely another episode. Man, that's another episode. But guys, I appreciate your time. I really appreciate your willingness to come on here, each and one of you, to be vulnerable. Again, my disclaimer: Marriage Refresh TV and Damon Rich and Tamika Rich are not responsible for any time that you might spend on the couch, in another room, or in your car, or without sex for your transparency. But we appreciate your transparency on this show. Until next time, guys, we really appreciate it. God, Bless you, love you. I appreciate you, and we're out of here. Until next time, audience. Listen, go back, share this video. These men have poured out their hearts. They've been transparent, and we appreciate that. Until next time, there will be a Husband Talk No Chaser episode 2. There is a reason I have the bourbon in the back. It's just to simply illustrate that we want to be uncut and raw. And I enjoy the old fashioned during this. So, hey, shoot me later. All right. Y'all have a good one, guys. And thank you,
All right,
everyone.
thank you so
Good
much.
night.
All right. Good
All
night.
right.